Azure Infinitum podcast. A signal from beyond the ordinary.
Welcome, everybody, back to Azure Infinitum podcast. This is episode 36. Your hosts, Hikaru Kazushime, also known as Kazu, and Reika Fuji-shima from Azure Infinitum. With me here today are my guests, Scout Captain Lily Kinsley and Lieutenant Asselin Lycoria. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
All right, today we've got a great episode. We're going to be talking about lots of gaming headlines and Azure updates. All right, so we've had some fun moments during the week here. We started off with our return of Crescent Crusade and FF14. That is our Cold Crescent Dawn Trail Relics, latest expansion there. Going out to the big field op zones, deploying with lots of folks. It was a big hit on Friday. You were there, Ashlyn, and we had a pretty good turnout. The new step is a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit more enjoyable than the previous zone, the North Horn of Occult Crescent there. There is a lot of things to discover there, a lot of new bosses that are really cool. Been having a lot of fun with the fates. Seems like they kind of found that balance where you're not, like, you're still rushing to get to the fates, but you have a little bit more time in some cases, many cases. Also, the changes to Fork Tower so far, we've had a number of people go through there and try out that new instance. So that's been pretty fun. One of the moments that we had in these past weeks here was Azure Genie Ronan, our scout, who has become very fond of that genie glam that came out in the what was it, the variant dungeon, Merchant's Tale, and he showed up in the yard that night, and we were like, "You look like you're about to pull out a magic lamp," and he went and got the magic lamp minion, and we were cracking up. And then as we went into maps, you remember?
Yeah, and he also said that the lamp was actually that. Yeah, he actually said that the lamp was from Walmart.
Oh, apparently. Yeah, he's got a Walmart lamp. Yeah. It's broken. It's broken. He's like, there's something wrong with it. And he came down the path there with the flying carpet mount, which just started to make it even better. And then, of course, as we know, the really expensive reward from Merchant's Tale is that actual genie mount. So he went and bought it. And it's like you're riding the lamp with the genie coming out, but the genie's butt is like right in your face. Like the way it looks, you just look it up. Like, guys listening, like, look this up if you haven't seen it. It's pretty funny. So he's this big Rogadin, this big male Rogadin. He's riding this tiny little lamp, and he's got this huge genie booty like right in his face. And we're just cracking up. And now every time that he pops in, we're like, "Hey, Azure Genie." I love Ronan, though. Shout out to Ronan. Also, we've got what were we talking about earlier? We're talking about our resident meat king, Darn, and his bologna logs.
Once again, has smoked more bologna for the FC.
Comes him every week with these 5-pound logs of bologna. It's cracking me up. Yeah. So I had a funny story about Darn. Quite a few weeks ago. This was a few months back. We actually had a recruit that came in, and the recruit was to FF14 specifically, and the guy was going on about our food channel, and he was sharing recipes and just commenting on everybody's stuff on there. And then he told me, he's like, I happen to be a 5-star chef in France, and I was like, whoa, like, you never know who you're gonna find, who you're gonna recruit. And I introduced him to Darn. I was like, oh, you're a chef? Well, you got to meet our resident meat king. Because we always call him the meat king. Because, Darn's the redneck guy with the smoker, and he's got he's always throwing everything he can on the grill. So I was like, yeah, you got to meet our resident meat king. And then I introduced them, and Darn he was like instantly humbled. He's like, don't call me the meat king. Like, I'm in the presence of an actual 5-star chef. It was
in the presence of actual royalty. I am the meat duke at best.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just a redneck with a grill. Like, don't say that. He's like bowing profusely to the French chef, and the guy thought it was funny too, and he was really cool. And that was just a funny moment that came up. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of comedy and humor in our community. We have such a great community. Loves to laugh together, play together all the time, and it's like, if we were to really go through everything that happens in a week in Azure, I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, we had some stories take place the last few days over in Star Citizen where we were, throwing boxes at each other's heads and going out and picking up materials and teaching a couple new people. We had Danja's first time the other night, one of our scouts in Azure. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for bringing him in, Aslan, to
that was
fly the verse
very comical. Yeah, it was comical.
His experiences.
I always feel like every time if you get 2 or more folks in Star Citizen together and you have to move boxes around, someone's getting hit in the face with one of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's gonna happen.
I always seem to hit one. I always seem to get hit in the face when me and Reika are always like hauling boxes.
Our cargo soccer, as we call it, where we try to use the freight elevator as a goalpost and just kind of slide that in there. But I mean, it was only just a few minutes ago that we were out there at Levski having a little bit of shenanigans there with Terry and you, Terry, Lily, and our newest organization member, Mixtol, got to join us tonight. That was awesome. Spent a good time flying around with them last night. And speaking, I mean, we'll be talking a little bit more about Star Citizen here in a little bit later on in the episode. But speaking of which, it is Free Fly Week right now during Foundation Festival, so it's a great time to try the game. We are recording this on a Sunday, so this might be a Monday or Tuesday when this episode is released. So I think it's still going to be Foundation Festival.
Yeah, it happens until the 10th, I believe.
10th. Okay, thank you very much. So if you are listening and you haven't tried Star Citizen and you might want to give the game a shot, you can download the client, hop in, try out a number of ships, and don't forget to, we have an entire community here and a lot of people that are very informative and enjoy helping and assisting. So just keep in mind that sometimes it is a lot more fun with each other as well. We've got a Star Citizen chat that's moderately to generally active down there in our Discord server with a lot of folks that will chime in even if they're not in game. So it's a great time to try it. So it was funny the other night. We had that 2-seater land vehicle that you brought along, Aslan, and your shiny new Cutlass Black. And we were doing some bounties. We were teaching Danj about some of the bounty missions and the bunkers. And we managed to fit that. I forgot the name of it, but it's the 2-seater one without the guns. The Cyclone, thank you. And we were like, well, what are we going to do? We got 3 people and 2 seats. So we jumped in the back and managed to be a one-man turret back there while we were off-roading for a bit. Off-roading is putting it nicely. More like spinning around in the rocks, hitting those rocks and just flying.
I was the Dukes of Hazzard in the General Lee.
Pretty much.
The vehicle handling in Star Citizen, like ground vehicles specifically, is delightful.
Atrocious.
Like, you're never going where you want to go, but you're going to have fun getting there.
I saw Roken on stream one time, and there was a bunch of rocks that he was being real careful weaving through them, and then he realized after he hit one, or was going to hit one, that it had no collision on it, and he just realized that there was this whole area he could just go straight, and he was just plowing through all the rocks. There was no collision in that area.
Yeah, if you're not close to one of the built areas, they don't have collision on a lot of the objects that they're rendering, which is fair. Like, we'll probably talk more later, but every planet, every moon in Star Citizen is you can go anywhere.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when they add the Terra system. I wonder when they're going to do that.
Too, actually.
Yeah, especially if
I would love
actually visit everywhere on Earth.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, because I know they have to scale planets down. Just because obviously, if you had full scale stuff, it would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. So Steam's been seeing some pretty impressive numbers. I saw a fact earlier that they're adding somewhere around 60 to up to 100 games per day to the catalog on Steam. That's pretty insane. Some of the real big games that have been going on there lately. There's this one site where you can look up the records of some of the most highest player counts at one time on sales. It's been pretty impressive. There's a lot of competition going on digital storefronts, and now we have We talked a little bit about this last week. Sony's announcement for going all digital. Pretty interesting move there. A lot of negative feedback over the past week or so. We talked about how their PR department was giving the strictest guidelines possible for how to deal with this. And like I said last week, my thoughts remain the same. Nothing has really changed. It's not going to stop me, from either enjoying the brand or gaming. I do enjoy physicals, but it's kind of just getting harder and harder to fit the amount of data required onto discs. Although there is a lot of options people have talked about, there's also the whole longevity debate with things like disc rot and things like that over time. So I'm curious to see, if anything does change by the time we get there. But we still got until, I think it was January 2028, I think is when they said they were going to stop production of discs. So just looking at how all these other digital storefronts are adjusting, the type of competition and things like that is really, really interesting. What was it? The Steam Machine. That's another thing too. Another big titan in digital gaming. I think that or things like that is going to probably be really effective in the future. Following a certain point in time where it became easier to preserve digital copies. Like if you're on PlayStation, you see how there's a PS3 library on there and a PS2 library. It's not everything, but it's a lot of things, at least some of the most preserved and most popular titles. And then everything that's come out from that point forward, I think will be a lot more easier to preserve digitally. And then if you have any console or system in the future that, not PC, of course this is possible on PC, but, something that has like everything from past years on it that you can access if you own it, I think that's good. But that's something that I like. I just don't like it when, everything has a potential to be removed. Dicey to me in that case. But what's the rate that really happens? Like it happens, but it's not. Like I think one of the first times I heard of this with like expiring licenses, I think it was one of them games. It was a digital only game. I think it was Scott Pilgrim on PS3 got its license removed and became completely inaccessible to people who purchased it back in like 2009 or 10. And it quickly made people realize that like, digital licenses can come to an end, and some of these companies can actually take your ownership away. Then you've got storefronts like GOG letting people know that, once you own it forever. There's even ways you can back it up yourself. But some personal backup systems like that, I mean, I've seen people already just going the distance. Like I've seen this one guy on Reddit who he's trying to put his whole Steam library in a physical form by putting USBs with the game data on it in cases and then making and printing cases for each game. That's got to get expensive over time. I don't think I could do that, but I find it.
Yeah, depending on the size of the game. It's like, what is a 128 gigabyte thumb drive run these days?
Nowhere near as much as it used to. I haven't looked up thumbsticks in a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, 128 gigs is probably, like, I'm seeing Amazon listings for decent brands anywhere between about $25 to $30. You could probably get a multi-pack for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that'd be like per game pretty much. So like except for older stuff that's smaller, but anything new you're gonna need one of those for each game. So you're gonna basically be buying the price of the game plus something like that to store it on. And then the printing, casing, and inking and everything like that's gonna go up. But yeah, it's interesting that we're kind of in this like strong, period of gaming history where this transition is taking place. It's gonna be interesting to kind of see where this goes. Was it PS5 hardware sales are slowing down, even though Sony's expectations are going up? I find that kind of interesting. I know there's a lot of patents going on right now for potential portable PlayStation systems. People were thinking that maybe the PS6 would have a Switch-like functionality. Kind of interesting. I mean, I think that'd be cool too, as well as having a digital library that is also portable like that is another big selling point, especially when you've got all of these like hybrid PC handheld things like the Asus ROG or the Steam Deck, things like that. That would definitely be competing with Switch at that point if Sony does decide to step into that kind of thing. I know I saw one. I don't know if it was fake or not, but I saw some blueprint for something that does look like it'd be really plausible, with the PS6 console handheld hybrid thing. I know right now the way I use my PS Portal is kind of like that. I can just pick up the Portal and stream from my PS5 to the Portal. Pretty convenient, pretty nice, especially if I want to go lay down with it somewhere. I think that's not taking it out anywhere, but it is nice to just go to another room and lay down and still have access to your console that's in a completely different room. I think that's kind of the selling point. But if it's even better than streaming and it's actually like the Switch, then I think that'd be great. The only thing is pricing. It's going to get more expensive. They're going to have to put the Switch 2 is really not that far away from the PS5 in specs. The 2, not the 1, but the 2. There's a lot of games I play on there that I've also played on PC and PS5, and it's not that much difference. But of course, they're going to want to have, really good specs. So I don't know if we're at that point just yet where that'd be. I think it's doable, but I think it might be more fluid and probably more practical in one more generation, I think. But so coming up in a week, the EA, Electronic Arts acquisition is finalizing. The company's going private and is selling to a Saudi company. Interesting. I know there's been a lot of concerns and discourse going on around about that. Here we'll see what that looks like in the coming weeks. Probably not in full until we actually start seeing new games being developed by the publisher or being published by the company. That could affect future Sims, Battlefields, and other titles. Yeah, let's see.
EA also has the Star Wars license.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, they've also got a license for Star Wars. And
I think there's an XCOM-like Star Wars game that's coming out soon.
Yeah, isn't it Zero Company? I think that was that what it was called?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Zero Company. That's cool. Either of you play XCOM?
Big XCOM fan.
Nice.
I have played through, not quite beaten, but played through the Long War mod for XCOM Enemy Within.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have close to 500 hours. XCOM Enemy Unknown, over 150 in XCOM 2.
Nice. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, big XCOM fan there. I did play Enemy Unknown. Thought that was really cool when they were kind of giving a little facelift or reboot to the series and bringing it back after a while. I didn't play any of the really old ones, but I think I have 2, and I think I have Declassified somewhere, but I didn't really get into them as much as I got in Enemy Unknown. Good games. I kind of like that style of gameplay. So seeing that in a Star Wars form, that would be really cool. Yeah, Zero Company coming out August 27th. Yeah, game releases this month. There's Beast of Reincarnation on August 4th. August 4th has got 2 things. Big Walk and Beast of Reincarnation. Then on the 6th, the highly anticipated Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. That looks good to me. I like Arc System Works. I've always liked Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. So seeing that style with a Marvel fighting game is pretty interesting to me. Definitely got to be checking that out. Let's see, August 11th, Agent 64. I haven't heard of that one, actually. Spies Never Die. August 12th, Akatori. 13th is Dusk Fade. Also Hell Let Loose Vietnam. We got a couple people in Azure that play Hell Let Loose. It's one of those Battlefield-like games, but it's a bit more unforgiving, a little bit more realism, I think. Sinking City 2 on the 18th. Mortal Shell 2, that's a bigger one. That's on August 20th. Of course, I said Zero Company on the 27th, and Resonance Plague Tale Legacy on August 27th as well, same day as Zero Company. So yeah, that's a good list for this month. The only thing I don't recognize here that I haven't really followed, I think, Sinking City 2. Oh, Sinking City is that Lovecraftian style survival horror. It's kind of an exploration, atmospheric combat, more so than its predecessor. But yeah, I know folks that like Mortal Shell. That's another one that's exciting. It's a Souls-like. Yeah, I have it on Steam. I would say it's enjoyable if you like Souls-like games. All right, so we did talk earlier about the new field op in FF14. Aslan, I think you grabbed at least one of those relics so far, haven't you?
I've actually grabbed 2 of the relics.
Completely done?
Yeah, completely done.
Nice.
Warrior and Paladin.
Stuff's only been out for less than a week. Wow. Warrior and Paladin.
I got enough mathematics to be able to get 2.
Okay. It's mathematics currency. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
once you finish your first one, does it make the others easier?
Yeah, because all you have to do is just have mathematics. It just, once you completely finish the relic, all you need is, so for this last step, you only need, like, after you complete the relic for the first time, you only need one set of 1500. 1500 mathematics. Turn that in, and then immediately go to the next step and turn the weapon in for the glowing portion of it, and then you don't have to do anything else.
Okay.
So it makes it 10 times easier to upgrade it to 795. So
nice. Okay. And that makes it easier to obtain, especially going down the road too, when people want to come back and pick up the other ones for collection, achievements, or glamour. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be turned into poetics in the future.
Probably, yeah.
So anything
which
that's
would make
a
it 10
current
times
tome,
easier too.
anything that's a current tome is going to become poetics, like down the road when we get to Evercold, the next expansion, FF14. Like I said, I've really been enjoying Northhorn so far. I'm working on the Paladin Relic first. Haven't decided what else I'll pick up, but I have a feeling I'm going to end up with a few of those before we get to Evercold.
Shooting for all of them.
And you get your relic in FF14. It's kind of like a milestone in your 14 career. I mean, the memories of doing them together, things like these field ops, where there's now 3 expansions that have field ops associated with their relics. Doing those together with friends, or long grinds. They've tried to mix up the grind a bit, as some of us know, there's several steps, lots of different things to do, kind of mixes it up. And then, of course, you can look back on it and have a nice piece of glamour down the road. You can get replicas of any of the stages, so you have the option to have different types of glam for it. Patch 7.55 released right there at the end of July on the 28th, following FF14 FanFest Berlin, which we talked about a lot on the previous episode. Now we've got basically all of that, the Relic, Field Op, and the new Hildebrand chapter, lasting us until September. And then coming up next month is the Beastmaster job release. So that's going to be a lot of fun to figure out and learn as well. The producer live letters have detailed quite a bit of what to expect from that. I know the last one that took place during FanFest showed us a lot of Beastmaster gameplay. I'm sure there's going to be probably at least one more producer live letter stream that'll give us a little bit more, probably final insight on it, and what to come from the second part of the 7.5 story as well, leading into Evercold. So the next part of the 7.5 story, because it's 2 parts. One released back earlier this year, I think it was April, and then the one in September will be what actually leads into Evercold, and then we'll be coasting on that until January. So still have yet to find out what the release date for FF14 Evercold is, although there is only so many Fridays and Tuesdays in January that we can assume one of them, probably not the final week of it, but probably one from the first 3 weeks, I think, is going to be Friday being the early access date, before the Patch Tuesday, which is the weekly reset when everything always launches. So it's going to be interesting. Looking forward to that pre-order date as well. The collector's edition looks awesome. I'm definitely grabbing me one of those. Epic Reaper statue. It's just super sick. That makes space in my cabinet. My 14 Curio is like almost completely maxed out on space. Also in FF14 this month in Azure, we have Azure Summer Festival 2026. This is the 10th anniversary of our Summer Festival, where we do 3 days of crazy back-to-back events every hour in the game for 3 days, starting in the afternoon and running all the way until close to midnight for 3 days in a row. We're crazy. We do FC parades, raffles galore, or flash raffles taking place pretty much every hour as well, alongside the events, sometimes during the events too. We have races, contests, tournaments, Triple Triad tournament. We've got our PvP tournament, the Azure Grand Duel Tournament 32 with a vacant championship title, our summer edition tournament. We're going to see who can climb to the top and become our next Infinitum champion. And you can always check out our champions on the champion page to see the Hall of Fame there from the past. We've been running a championship series in 14 for 10 years now. This is the 10th year of the tournament and the 10th Summerfest as well. Just happened to start them both on the same year. So we're looking to see, we're curious to see who is going to nab that championship. And we've also got our Chocobo Race Grand Prix returning with the Azure Cup. We have the Summer Glamour Contest. We're going to have some other old Azure Day favorites coming back, like our Manhunt minigame, our Riddle Race, and the return of Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's August 28th through 30th that's going to be taking place. We're going to have 3 days of back fun. Keep an eye out for an announcement coming up here within the next week or two. Once we have everything locked down in the schedule, there will be a program guide, a whole event guide that's posted to azureinfinitum.com and azurenet.com. It'll actually be on AzureNet, but it shows on both sites. Both our content site and our community site. Keep an eye out for that post and announcement in our Discord announcements channel. It's also be shared on our social media as well. That will have the program, the full 3-day lineup of all those events. It's going to be a blast. Every Summerfest is huge. This is actually kind of what we call our gem of the summer or of the year, really. We have 3 quarterly FC celebrations that are like Azure Day weekends. They're 2-day ones like this, but this is the 3-day mega summer event where we just go all out. So there are hundreds of millions of gil in prizes. There is mounts and minions and furnishings and orchestrating rolls and all kinds of things to collect for our members during these events. There's a lot of ways to win. There's a lot of chances for raffles where we just throw out prize pool items at people after random rolling dice whenever there's a flash raffle. There's a lot of team prizes. There's a lot of things you'll get just from playing some of these with us, and of course mega prizes for some of the really, really big ones as well. The tournament pot is already growing. I think the prize pot is already at 10 mil, so it's we'll see where it's at when that's for the victor, not just the champion, but the victor gets the prize pot and then gets the contendership to face the champion when we do our tournaments. So because we have a vacant title, they're going to get the belt, or not the belt. Well, you can imagine it as a belt. They're going to get the title and the guild at the same time. So it's going to be a big win for whoever climbs to the top. I know we did just see one of our previous champions, Rocco, just came back the other day, right in time to train. He's been away for about a year.
He's definitely shaking the rust off.
He's training. He's training already. You've seen him outside the house last night, punching the crap out of the striking dummy. Yep. He's getting ready. I
feel like it's time for a montage.
Yeah. Give a montage of all of our champions, or like one of those hype trailers.
Yeah, hype trailer sounds great.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Yeah, the Grand Duel tournament hype. Yeah, I seen Rocco out there training, and he was like, one of the first thing he said when he came back was, first he said, "It's time," and then he came back, and then he's like, "Now I need to figure out what all my buttons do again." But yeah, I love Rocco. He's got such a great personality. He'll be real short and kind of quiet, and then he'll just amaze everyone. He'll just do things like that, and so that's kind of how he won last time. He had some stuff going on IRL and relinquished the title last time when last spring of 2025 it was vacant, and that's when our previous champ Dario Sandermore had picked up the vacant title last time, and he reigned for a year following Rocco's previous retirement. So we'll see if he has any ring rust, and see how that goes here, if he's going to enter in the tournament. There's a lot of eyes on him. There's some other contenders across the community, or people that may or may not be kind of crowd favorites that I think our community may be rooting for or curious to see how they do. Some who have gotten into that final match and got so close previous times. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be exciting to watch. This takes place during Azure Summer Festival in FF14. It won't be streamed, but it'll be recorded. So the tournament will be posted probably the following week after we, because we're gonna have a lot of content from Summer Festival, so we'll be sorting through a lot of stuff. But it can be watched in person live if you are in Final Fantasy 14. You want to come to Midgard Stormer server, come to the Wolves Den Pier. There's an area outside. This is not instanced, so you're able to watch it. There's a crowd that usually builds up. And you can enter by simply showing up at the start time and /randoming The /random is the roll. So the number that's rolled corresponds to a bracket that I always set up for the 1v1s. Each fight is a best of 3. The final fights, like these, the final, not the semifinal, but the final and the championship match when we have one. There won't be a championship match this time because there's no champion, so just tournament victor will win it. So that's usually a best of 5, but the final will be best of 5. Regular ones are best of 3, and yeah, it's gonna be something. This is for Azure community, so our allies, our reserve core members that are in the Crossworld Link Shell or the Madu NFC that are waiting to transfer. If you're in our Discord as a member, the whole community is invited to this, as well as those that want to come watch. You know, I'm looking at our calendar and I just noticed one error. It's kind of a silly error. On the 12th, I listed it as, I listed one of the Warframe things as WAFrame instead of Warframe. I went through this 6 times.
The new game.
WAFrame. I went through this 6 times to make sure there was no errors. I got to fix this one. So yeah, this is here up on my screen here in the podcast. You get to giggle at it if you're watching this video later on. And I'll definitely be fixing that and re-uploading that in the announcements. Man, I thought I fixed everything. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so Azure Infinitum Summer Fest in FF14. Again, that's the 28th through the 30th. It's going to be a good time. Keep an eye out for the announcement post. All right, so going on in our other Azure wings, want to go back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier, Star Citizen, or Azure Legion, our official wing of Azure. Again, Foundation Festival is going on right now. That's got a lot of promotions on the website. There are some deals on there, as well as some nice, pretty liveries, Twitch drops that are going on right now. Don't remember when those end. I know it's probably within the next week or 2. You can get a livery for, I think it's the little Atlas mech thing?
Yeah, the Atlas, the exoskeleton suit that you can use to move cargo around.
Yeah, nice little teal, it's like a teal blue livery. Pretty neat. And then there's that, what was it? It's one of the, like a Banu box or something, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a lockbox replica. The Banu, for those unfamiliar, are one of the alien races that are going to be introduced later. We get to see a lot of alien ships, so there's already that kind of design language out there. But lots of interesting bits about it, but I don't think the lockbox actually does anything right now. It's just a pretty box.
Pretty box. So lockbox replica. That's something you can put in your ship. You won't lose it though, right? That's something that you get to keep.
Yeah, that's one of the big advantages of a lot of the Twitch drops and other gear pledges.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get it, if it's bound to your account and you see it in your hangar, that's there for you for good, which is always really nice. It's going to be coming up later in the year. They do Luminalia, essentially their version of like a winter Christmas kind of theme holiday. They have like 13 days they give out little goodies. So I've done that a few years. I've got, lots of flight suits, some weapons, all sorts of good things to get me started again when we do a full patch wipe.
See a number of discounted starter packs too on the website here.
Yeah. So the 5 ships available in Foundation Festival, if you're doing the free fly, you get access to the Aurora Mark II, which is just a kind of general starter ship. The neat thing about it, it's got a couple of optional modules, so you can spec more into a combat type role, add some missiles and an extra shield, or go for more of a hauling type role and get some extra cargo space. There's the Drake Cutter, a little more fairly similar, just different design language, a little more cargo space. There's also the Drake. Which one is that?
The Golem?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the Golem here now. I'm on the list.
Yeah, the Golem, the recently introduced starter mining ship, the RSI Salvation, starter salvaging ship, and then the Crusader Intrepid, which is a starter hauling ship. So kind of the idea with the Foundation Festival is just introducing people to the different career options of do you want to start mining? Do you want to haul cargo? Do you want to salvage derelict ships? All of them are good options. I really like the Aurora Mark II as a starter option, just because it gives you a little more variety. But if you do like the idea of mining, if you do like the idea of salvage, those the Golem and the Salvation are really good options to get you started in that career, give you a good introduction of what that's like. Or, hey, come join us on Frontier Sundays, and we can get you going on some of the other ships. We have a huge variety in the org fleet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, amongst everybody that's in the org, we do have a huge variety. We've got some folks that are or like multi-tiered concierge status with almost all the capitals and everything. I mean, pretty awesome, pretty good place to learn. I know our newest org member, we spent some time with him this morning, and he was really grateful just to find a helpful group of people that could explain things or ask questions to. So that's a huge plus in having a good org that likes to play together and is active. Our org is on the smaller end as we're still kind of recruiting and getting it going, but we do have a regular weekly org night. So really helps to be able to have that, and also during the week, having that active chat and folks that are popping in and playing quite a bit as well. Looking at the Foundation starter packs, that Intrepid, is that the one that we were just stripping in salvage a little bit ago?
No, was also a Crusader ship. We were salvaging the Mercury Star Runner.
Oh,
so it's not one of the starters, but it is available as one of the featured ships.
Okay.
Best way to kind of describe the Star Runner is it's kind of the similar to like a Millennium Falcon kind of idea. There's a hidden storage area if you want some really secure cargo to be hidden away. I love their Crusader design language. Yeah,
the Crusader ships are really cool. Yeah, I saw that that hidden compartment or that hidden bay under there. That was really neat. It was deeper than I expected too. I was like, wow, this goes back quite a ways, and there's multiple parts of the ship that you can sneak down in there. That was pretty cool. Okay, yeah. I was just looking at this. I was like, oh, that looks familiar, but I guess it's different. There are some ships that look kind of almost the same, but they're different. The Moth and the Mole are kind of similar.
They are. You could put them side by side, and the only way you'd be able to tell the difference is the front of the Moth has the salvage head.
Yeah,
and that's kind of it.
Salvaging or mining,
so close. Yeah, but like it's a great design because we also see that with the RSI Hermes and the Apollo series. The RSI Hermes is the same space frame, but instead of a medical section, it's just cargo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm pretty experienced with the Hermes. I've spent a lot of time with the Hermes, but I haven't tried the other variants of that model that they have.
Yeah, I think Aaron's got one of the Apollos. That's the other thing too, is there's also usually like a couple variants of a ship, because you have the Apollo Medevac and the Apollo Triage. Really similar. It's just like a minor difference in the Medevac has like a little bit more armament, because it's meant to be more of like a military frontline kind of, we're gonna hot drop in to go rescue folks, whereas the Triage is more of a civilian oriented, this is somebody got hurt exploring versus we're in the middle of a firefight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the Generalist starter pack has the Drake Cutter. I know there's a few other variants of it that do some different things. Mostly it's just different sensors. One of them's got more of an extended fuel range, a little bit more cargo. Before the Aurora Mark II, there were 7 Aurora variants. So they've kind of done that a lot.
Yeah, the Generalist, that's what Roken picked up to start the game with. One of our generals here in Azure bought the Generalist starter pack, got himself a cutter, and that was during Defense Con, which we just had here, I think about a month and a half ago. That was a lot of fun. And he was starting out as a hauler, just chucking boxes in. And one of his earliest adventures was encountering, I think, an elevator that didn't work or something like that. She started throwing the boxes at the planet and laughing maniacally as they were thrown into the atmosphere.
Yeah, I feel like elevators not working is kind of that's always just been a thing.
Yeah. I had that happen to me this morning out at Jackson Swap. Tends to happen to me a lot there. I don't know if I want to do any more Jackson Swap contracts for a minute.
So the one thing I avoid with the hauling missions is delivering to those locations.
Yeah, like the
If you
planetary
pick up,
ones.
so it depends.
Okay.
The distribution centers that have the instanced hangars that you can land in, those are usually fine to deliver to because it should reset the elevator with the new hangar. But if you're delivering to like the scrap and salvage yards in Stanton or like Jackson Swap, the more outpost style locations, delivering to those elevators can be iffy because they aren't instanced. Picking up from them is usually fine. If it's not, then the whole server's busted and call it a day.
Yeah.
It is still an alpha.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. Yeah. It's like hard to get mad because it's alpha. So you just kind of, there's those moments where we have to just kind of take a breather, a break, and then come back. Some patches a little stronger than others, but it's going to be a hell of a game when it's done.
Yeah. And then you get those exciting moments where, everybody else is doing like, the event on Sunday, and then you just happen to look next to where you're at and you just see an RSI Perseus and you get, wide-eyed and you go and steal it.
You had a lot of fun with that earlier. Like too much fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the highlight of your night.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
I think you were having a little too much fun.
If I could get that in game, that would be my combat ship, and I would not like move away from that. I really like that ship. But yeah.
Hey, I mean, there's a lot of variety in the game. There's a lot of things you can try to do. It's really, what do you like? You can discover what you like about it, and maybe you find a small variety of things that are your favorite things to do and favorite ships to accomplish those goals. And then once you kind of find your bearings and you discover a little bit more of the game, this specifically is for people who are either starting out or interested. As long as you have a little bit of patience and you spend some time discovering those things in the game, there's a sense of joy that, you'll discover, especially if you like sci-fi, you like spaceships. It's very enjoyable. I remember like the newer I was, the more frustrated I got. And then over time I started to understand it more. You also, kind of like Lily was saying, I started doing that too, where I started to avoid certain contracts that might be kind of more likely to be buggy, or not so much contracts, but locations in those contracts. And every once in a while I'll go back to them to see how they're working out. But the stations and some of the main planets seem to be the most stable. I know during Alien Week, a little while back, you and I, Aslan, we had that glitch over at Hurston where we were just stuck outside and couldn't get the hangar to hail.
Oh God!
And we're out there in the dark and the rain with I think I had the Raylin or the Thule. I don't remember which one it was.
Thule.
I think it was a Thule, yeah. And I was out there just just trying so hard to get in. This other guy in a Thule came up and was just sitting there staring at me, touching our bridges together. Weird. And then we exploded and lost all the cargo. We're out there just stranded on
the Hermes, right?
Yeah, you came in on the Hermes, and then we had that weird glitch where I couldn't see you. You couldn't see me, but then when you landed, it all exploded. Yeah, that was a good time, though. Even if things go wrong, there's those moments where something funny still happens, and just never know sometimes. But I feel like the bigger the haul, the bigger the risk sometimes, as far as the time investment. Unless you're loading up with friends, it goes a lot faster and it can be pretty enjoyable. Yeah. I liked what we did today with the salvaging. I think that was really cool. And then we were able to get those back to Levski and load them up and everything. So That was a lot of fun. So I think salvaging can be, it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of Gathering in 14 in the sense that it's either therapeutic for you or it's sleep inducing. And for some people, they just don't want to sit there and scrape.
Salvaging is definitely like throw on a podcast, throw on an audiobook, throw on some music, and just kind of vibe.
Yeah, throw on the Azure podcast.
Exactly.
And just hang out, scrape some metal. You're basically pointing a beam. For those that don't know, they're listening. You're basically pointing a beam at a ship hull, and it's scraping off the materials and metals and things slowly, and it's like sucking it in through the salvage head of the beam, and then you just kind of do that and point at it and you watch it melt, and then towards the end you can break it apart and pick up a little bit more off those pieces. Of course, it's a good idea to go inside first and see what you can grab. I think we grabbed some coolers and some other components out of it. We had that one drive that was like, I think it was a quantum drive or the engine or something. Our supply was stuck and couldn't get it out of there. But I threw a grenade to try to get it out, but it didn't work.
It made a lot of fireworks on the outside.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that off of Aslan's stream too. Like, yeah, the fireworks are going. He's like, did you just do what I think you did? But yeah. All right. So over in another one of our Azure rings in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the game is alive and kicking with an 8.0 expansion on the way. There was a really big live stream the other day, similar to the way other companies have their dev live streams. SWTOR's big dev stream had a lot to announce, especially Season 11, Galactic Season 11, Light and Shadow begins August 18th. There is a plethora of things coming to the game, cartel market offerings, and the Feast of Prosperity event for October. That's set for October 6th, so still a couple more months away from that. But they went ahead and started talking about that early. They are also talking about some big changes to the game, such as the ability to adjust your difficulty mode. That's a big deal. Also a change to in-game ventures. That's classic and expert level ventures that are coming out. Right now, it's kind of a system that's been in the game since ventures were released, I think a year and a half ago. There's a lot of quality of life improvements that are coming. And the 8.0 content is going to be coming out early on the PTS or the public test server. They have a new operation coming out. The first boss will be able to be tested on the public test server. They're increasing level capped to 85, releasing I-370 gear. And there are new abilities coming to Sentinel, Marauder, Vanguard, Power Tech, Sage, and Sorcerer. I'm just going to break down a little bit of that here before we move on. I want to kind of explain a little bit of that because that's a lot of big stuff for SWTOR. What's that?
No, I was just going to ask, when you said difficulty level, I was just kind of curious about like what it entails. So because I know flashpoints and some of the story missions in Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne, they actually have it to where you can change your difficulty from story, veteran, and master mode.
So they're doing that for the whole game. 8.0 players will be able to toggle their difficulty in the overworld. So in the overworld, this includes non-multiplayer phased areas, meaning you'll basically be able to toggle it in the world, doing anything from your daily missions, world bosses, and just playing through regular grid path stories. Players will have 3 difficulties to choose from. That is story, veteran, and master. Story plays the way the game plays right now, just exactly what you're used to right now. Veteran is balanced around the way the game played at launch. Enemies present a challenge. They can actually kill you, and you will need to rest between every couple packs. In Master, of course, that's the true challenge. Elite enemies by themselves are a true threat. Hold more than one pack. Hope you have cooldowns up. Very much not for the faint of heart. So that's 3 difficulties, just like you see across some of the multiplayer or like story, veteran, master stuff like you mentioned earlier. When a player is in one of these difficulties, it will impact all the damage received, healing received, and experience gains. Difficulties set up this way are also a personal effect, meaning one player can be set to master and their friend playing nearby could have themselves set to story. So pretty interesting there. I wonder how that's going to scale between parties, but we'll see. Let's see here. I do have a list to read down real quick. As far as the story goes, for 8.0, the next era of the story, the level cap at 85, new abilities and combat balancing is coming with a new gearing system is coming out, and a new 3-boss operation, and a new planet. They're adding Ryloth, the Twi'lek homeworld, is coming to SWTOR.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're also adding fitted items, can be now added to collections. That's another nice thing. That's a quality of life thing that they've added. The leveling is changing a little bit. Basically, right now, it's very quick, easy to overlevel, just the main story. It doesn't take a lot of time to understand class and rotation abilities, but coming in 8.0, it's still going to be accelerated, but you're not going to be able to overlevel as easy. They are trying to smooth out all of the experience multipliers across the game, and only playing the main story will not get you to level cap. Adjustments to specific sources of XP, some of that, let me see here what I have here. As for the operation, it's called Children of Null. The operation is going to take place on the Enigma, exploring new areas of Darth Null's massive ship and uncovering more of the experiments on the nature of the Force. 3 bosses will launch with story and veteran difficulties in the new operation. It's like a raid in SWTOR. Boss 1 is available in story and veteran on the PTS, like I said earlier, and 2 and 3 will eventually follow on the PTS as well for people to test out, kind of plan and train against early. The new Galactic season on August 18th is going to be very similar to season 10, one season ago. Or, well, actually, that's the current one, but it's ending soon. Fan favorite rewards from 2 and 4. Season 2 and 4 will return for 11. So if you didn't get season 2 and 4 rewards, I don't know why they picked 2 and 4. It kind of reminds me of in FF14 when they go back and they release previous PvP season rewards at a shop. Except for this is basically just adding it to the normal rewards track for the Galactic season. Players will also see new rewards added to the tracks and the vendors both. Companion gifts on the season vendor are now discounted or will be discounted as of the new season. And there's a few that are going to have, certain companions are going to have greater discounts than others. That's also good to note. There's some really nice new cosmetics that are coming out. There's a Sapphire City hover car as well. There's 2 of them. There's a blue one. I'm probably going to be picking that up for sure. Yeah. And let me see here real quick what I have on my list. So coming up here in 2026, rest of the year here in SWTOR, we're looking at 7.9 updates. The Legacy of the Sith finale is coming. We have, let me see, 7.91. That's Galactic Season 11, I just mentioned. Also, again, with every big update, there's more Cartel Market editions. And there's a lot of chances to test that new content on the PTS here. Also, they are moving to DirectX 12. That means a lot to a lot of us here on PC. Created a version of the game with rendering reduced to a basic set of features that have allowed them to remove code specific to DirectX 9, really outdated at this point, to ensure smooth performance before this upgrade happens. They are actually using rendering components from the Frostbite engine. That's what Battlefield has been using for a while now, with the making it work with the SWTOR engine. SWTOR was originally created using something called the Hero engine, which has now been upgraded and heavily modified over the years. And they say that now very little original code of that remains. So they're not trying to convert the game to full Frostbite. I think that'd be really cool if they did, but no. But they're going to continue to work on the SWTOR engine and compile those components, which is going to eventually allow them to transfer to that DirectX 12 update. And they're saying that has been in the works now for a while to smooth that out. So major features of that is working with the user interface being the last major overhaul. I think there's definitely a few things about that interface that would be very nice to update after all this time. But they're in a position to begin technical alpha testing on that before they make official announcements. But yeah, so they want to continue to create new content throughout 8.0. That's the new expansion era. The goal is to continue to release that new content, gameplay, and systems that appeal to not just groups, but also solo and story players. But they want to keep groups in mind as well. It is an MMO after all. And they want to celebrate the depth of SWTOR with new content and systems being added throughout that whole timeline there. So again, increased level cap, balancing, and gearing, all very, very important. And the PTS stuff is going to be phased. It's going to be in different phases. So we're going to definitely be looking at future dev streams for that, for more on that. Toys are going to be converted to abilities. That's really good because that's taken up a lot of inventory space. Your favorite trainers, rests, and recharges will no longer be items clogging up the inventory and can now be put on your hotbar. Very cool. Very exciting for our SWTOR crowd and players across the game. The state of interactable stronghold decorations will now persist, meaning that if you turn a screen on that looks really cool, or an item that has an effect, it won't just go away when you leave. So, imagine like in FF14, for example, since we have so many people there, we activate something inside of our house and it's part of the decoration. Well, imagine that deactivating the moment you leave the house. Like that's what happens in SWTOR, but not anymore as of 8.0. So these decorations will continue to persist, just like in the real world. If you leave the lights on, they will actually now stay on. Again, about the fitted pack weapons and armor being in collections, more stuff to help us clean up our inventory, meaning all those weapons and armors that we've been getting from fitted packs and daily logins and galactic seasons can now just be stored and unlocked in our collections in 8.0. So very awesome. A lot of cool stuff coming to the game. That's really... there's also a nice Twitch drop coming too. There's a new Twitch drop mount. If you're in our Discord, over in the SWTOR chat, I have uploaded slides of all of this information. There is also kind of a few screenshots that show you like the new Twitch drop, the what the new venture difficulties are going to look like. There's a lot of slides from the dev stream and showing here what they're doing with the housing decorations. Looks really nice too. So definitely check out SWTOR chat before that gets buried. And of course, a lot of that will also be available in posts that are going to be, you're going to see stuff like that, content on the website as well, on azurenet.com, and what flows over to our social sites and the community site. So yeah, very exciting SWTOR stuff. Any of that sound interesting to you, Aslan? I know you're a longtime SWTOR player.
I know the difficulties thing that kind of interests me because I started at launch, and I've played for about same amount of time as you did Final Fantasy. I was on
That's
and
a
off
long time.
sporadically.
That's like 13 years.
Yeah. And I've sat and watched the game change from going from skill trees to having different specs to where it is now with the different combat styles and everything. And honestly, I'm looking forward to the new expansion, simply because I didn't think that we would actually see that, to be completely honest. It's exciting because I do love the game, and I look forward to experiencing something new.
All right, and our other most recently created Azure Wing over in Warframe. A lot of excitement going on there this month, that's for sure. Dog Days returns August 4th. We have got water gun battles, tropical beaches, continuous event alerts, weekly Floaty of Fury alerts, affinity booster weekends this month, and new and returning rewards as well. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. And don't forget Amir Shockwave.
Mirror Shockwave, that's the next thing that was on my list to talk about as well. Yeah. That is a brand new Nightwave season beginning, featuring 1999's Amir, I believe.
Yes.
New rewards include the Glowbach Sayandana the Cane Shell, Atomic Cycle Regalia, Taysats Oculus, and additional cosmetic modes and Nightwave rewards. Sounds like a good time.
I'm genuinely looking forward to it. We've had Nora's Mix Nightwaves for as long as I've been playing. I think the last time they did a new a shake up for the Nightwave system was before I started back in 2021.
Oh wow, okay.
Which, don't get me wrong, Nightwave is excellent. For those who haven't played Warframe, it's functionally a battle pass. You don't pay for it, just as long as you're playing the game. You start earning rewards towards it. There's a bunch of stuff that's part of it that gets me going really, really quickly. So yeah, just being able to have something new and fresh as part of that is really exciting.
I'm actually excited because it showcases Amir, who is the Volt proto-frame. He's a very fast-talking person, so every time you go into the Nightwave mix, you will hear him instead of Nora. It's something new.
So does this replace the other one, or is it two different ones now?
So we obviously can't say for sure until it starts.
Okay.
But generally the way that Nightwaves have worked in the past is they go for usually 4 to 6 months. So you've got plenty of time to get the rewards. And you can always catch up. They have a mechanic where if you complete your weeklies, if you missed previous ones, you can recover them. And, at the end of the current Nightwave, if you want to try and grind your face off, go for it.
I know one person who's probably going to be doing that.
I know I am. There's a couple of rewards in the current track I need to get. So it's probably just going to be Amir is replacing Nora as the face of Nightwave for this current iteration, and then we'll probably see Nora come back after this one.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and that begins August 12th.
Yep, August 12th.
August 4th for Dog Days, and August 12th for Nightwave Mix Amir's Shockwave. I believe there's also Fables and Frontiers.
Yep, that's going to be part of the... That's going to be the tie-in bit to Amir Shockwave.
Okay.
So like the Nightwave event before I started, there's going to be stuff related to that Fables and Frontier thing going on with the Nightwave.
Okay.
So, probably some challenges, probably some changes to missions.
Okay. Looks like there is it's a new narrative with just mini adventures, playing through tabletop-inspired story hosted by Amir. Exclusive rewards, the Atomicycle Key, Sugatra, Fables and Frontiers, Glyphs, and other cosmetics.
So we're playing D&D in Warframe. How nice.
Right, we're already gambling with Kome, so we might as well.
I mean, yeah. Oh, and there's a new online song running called Running Late.
I can see with Dog Days, we might be able to get some, some casual clan nights with reward farming. Maybe with Nightwave, we can use that also as an opportunity to help new members complete acts, maybe. Running Late could possibly present some nice group activities as well for the new narrative. And then there's, Tennogen Collection, August 12th as well. The Colorvo Asophilia, if I'm saying that correctly, skin, Araxia Argamva helmet, a Hernandez mask, and additional community-made cosmetics. So also on August 12th. Yeah. So August 12th is a big day for Warframe. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of new updates. The great thing about Tennogen as well, when they say these are made by the community, it costs real dollars to get these, as opposed to Platinum, Warframe's premium currency. At least on PC, I believe on other platforms it is Platinum. For Tennogen content.
I think so.
But there is a revenue split, so the community members get paid directly for everybody who gets their item.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think it's either the devs or the community actually votes for these for the different designs, if I'm not mistaken, because you can go into Steam and see all the different designs that you can vote on and everything for them to bring into the actual game.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
The community votes on what they'd like to see. The most that DE has input on it is just tweaking for performance, because I know there have been some previous designs that if they tried to do them in the game, just something about it was just we'd love to be able to recognize your original vision, but we gotta like tone some of this down so that we're not tanking people's games when you join their mission.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I've had a few Tennogen stuff. I know I have
Ooh.
some for Wisp, a lot of Cyandanas, the back bling. I've got a few Tennogen items with that. So always interesting. There's a lot of effort, a lot of cool designs on display.
It's really cool that they do that in general. I had not really known how deep that went with not just supporting the community designs, but even sharing some of the revenue from it with the designers. That's awesome. I was gonna say it does look like there is another fashion frame night as well after the August 12th update. Potential to show off new Tennogen cosmetics, and it looks like they hold a fashion contest as well after the update. So that's really cool. That's four big things happen this month. So it's a great month for Warframe. Following last month with the Jade Constellations release.
And don't forget TennoCon.
And TennoCon, yeah. Oh yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
TennoCon was big.
TennoCon and FF14 FanFest in the same month. That was something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something.
It's funny. And it's funny because one of the things that I heard is when they were doing one of the dev streams while Final Fantasy was going on, I think Rebecca from the dev team from Warframe was actually saying that she really wanted to be in watching FanFest for Final Fantasy. So it's kind of cool how as Azure we have Final Fantasy, but then now we also have Warframe, and it's actually kind of funny how one of the devs from Warframe plays Final Fantasy. So
yeah.
Well, Rebecca Ford is such a treasure. She started as the community manager, so she's been the face of a lot of their dev streams and TennoCons for a long time. A couple years ago, she got bumped up to creative director, taking over from Steve, who moved over to start Soulframe.
Okay.
But like, there's archive stuff of like Rebecca Ford playing Warframe, and they're like, "Hey, is this your dev account?" Because it was like some absurd thing that would take like hundreds of hours of playing to get, and she's like, "No, this is my main. This is my personal account." So she's big into the game that she plays. She's big into other stuff. I know they did with the Foley update. They added the option to essentially like foil your mods. She's also big into TCGs. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I love it too when the devs are also like really into their games as well. Like really into.
I do too. Yeah. And that's just like, I would say that's like the one important thing to note about Warframe and DE specifically is that from the very beginning, they have always listened to player insight. They're really big about their community, and that's why with Soulframe that they're actually they've released the alpha alongside, and are working on the alpha alongside of the community. So
speaking of Soulframe, we just opened a new chat for Soulframe in the Warframe category, which is now the Warframe and Soulframe category. At least until Soulframe releases, and we kind of can see what clan systems might be in it if they go that route. And then we'll think about a future wing or something like that if it turns out to be viable.
I'll look forward to that.
I need to get around to giving Soulframe a shot. I've had an invite for a while and just haven't done it.
Same. Like I got the code and I just haven't had the time to check it out. I'm like, well, it's not going anywhere. So yeah.
I like it. It's actually really interesting because I got General Roken, and one of our scouts, Kiba, to play, and Kiba got me to play, but he was showing me around, and it's actually really fun. It's more so a medieval style game, right? And in it they have what Warframe started out as, which is like slower combat,
slower pace in general.
Slower pace in general, and you actually have to be careful when you actually go up against enemies because they can overwhelm you because they will literally pop up in groups. From my experience. Cool thing is you can actually throw your sword like a lightsaber and it'll actually come back to you.
He has done that in every game they've done. One of the, they got their start actually working on Unreal Tournament for Epic. They co-developed that. They released Dark Sector on the 7th gen of consoles. And you can see like a lot of the DNA of what became Warframe in Dark Sector. So they have the
that makes so much sense
weapons.
Now. Yeah. We talked a lot about Azure Wings. See, there isn't a whole lot of other things on our calendar this month. We've got, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff going on in Warframe, a lot of exciting SWTOR news, and the stuff going on in 14 currently with the current patch, and Azure Summerfest later this month. Outside of those things, outside of our wings, beyond our wing games, what have you two been up to? Like, what are we playing lately outside of MMOs or outside of Azure Wings?
Pretty much just the Azure Wing games. Warframe and Spices
pretty much
take up a lot of my time.
Okay.
I've been trying to get into Factorio since
Factorio, yeah, good game.
Yeah, they did their 2.0 release. I know they're working on a 2.1 patch with some other changes. So the last update I heard about that was like end of June. So I don't know the time frame. Giving that a shot because I've had that for a while and just haven't quite.
Yeah.
I know. What is her name on my partner Jaybird? I forgot her name here in Azure.
In Azure, it's Iloru?
Yes,
our scout
that sounds
Iloru?
correct.
Yeah. Iloru Mesa.
I know she's been playing Librarian, Tidy Up the Arcane Library. That's on my list to get to. Also a huge book nerd. Having that to fool around with is going to be hopefully something I get to this week.
That sounds really interesting. What does that play like?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I've seen like a little bit about it, but I tend to go into stuff blind, unspoiled.
Okay.
It's also one of the reasons why I don't watch like Warframe dev streams.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Does sound interesting. I mean, just from the title description there. Aslan, you've been in that been doing a lot of Ghost Recon, huh? You're doing a lot of Ghost Recon with Sanaya, one of our scouts.
Yeah, that's been pretty fun.
Ghost Recon is Breakpoint, right? After they've
yes, it is Breakpoint. Yeah. It's actually really been fun. I've been playing Overwatch for Sanaya as Sanaya goes and sneaks through the different buildings and into the compounds and stuff, and I'll sit there and provide Overwatch, like either by UAV drone and delivering strike packages to heavily armored enemies, and robotic soldiers and turrets and drones and all that fun stuff.
A lot of stuff to play with in that game.
Yeah, let me know next time you do that. I haven't touched Breakpoint in a while.
Yeah, I will. Definitely.
There you go. You got another party member.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun to watch. You can put your stream up a lot in the Azure Discord. So sometimes when we're all hanging out and just our general VC that we have, VC Hangout, and check out some of those missions that you and Sanaya have gone on. Been entertaining to watch. You also been popping over to that Ready or Not game, I think, quite a bit, right?
Ready or Not game.
Or is that the wrong one? What was the other shooter that you were playing? I did. Right after Destiny started to take a dump, you were like, I'm gonna make this my new shooter.
I went to go try Ready or Not. I don't have enough friends to actually go and play that with.
Friends required. Yep.
Yeah, it is a game that is friends
You've got
required.
The friends, you just don't have the friends playing it. That's more like
exactly.
That's the issue.
And it's funny because Sanaya actually does have Ready or Not. It is for Ready or Not. I can explain what it is. It's a SWAT type game. So you and your, like, say if you had friends to go in there with, or you use the NPCs, you go in as a SWAT team, and you have like different scenarios that SWAT in real life deals with. So, like, there's this one mission that I actually played through a while back with somebody that I know I was an acquaintance with, and it had a bunch of dead bodies all over it was a nightclub, and they had a bunch of dead bodies all over the ground, and it was a terrorist attack. So we had to go in and neutralize the terrorists. There was an apartment high-rise building to where somebody had went and kidnapped a few people, and you had to use beanbag rounds to go and rubber rounds to go and neutralize targets and capture and detain different people and get evidence and all that fun stuff. So it's a very interactive game. That's one of the games I was playing, and then there was No Man's Sky. I actually really liked No Man's Sky because I like I like going into that and just doing whatever. I'm more of a creative mode person, but if I am playing with friends, I will test my limits in survival mode.
I feel like for a free company started around Final Fantasy, there's a lot of science fiction interest.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
There is, yeah.
I can't talk. I want to say like my home library is some split about like 60-40 fantasy science fiction. So
I guess I'll go start the Elite Dangerous now.
Oh yeah, you were playing that too, huh?
Yeah, I guess I'll go start the Elite Danger. Help with the Elite Dangerous build up.
Yeah, I mean that's come up as a question for a wing before, but there's never more than like a few people that are actually actively playing it. And I just, I've never known. I have it, but I've never really invested a lot of time into it. And it feels like, I discovered, how to say this? Like I kind of discovered that in Star Citizen around the same time, but I heard about Elite and Dangerous longer and knew about it for longer.
Yeah.
I heard of Star Citizen back in the beginning and just kind of blocked it out of my mind because when it was really, really, really super rough and brand new, and also, an investment, I was just kind of like, and I kind of forgot about it for a long time. But I didn't actually play both of them, either Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen, until last year. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of it. But I definitely spend more time in Star Citizen. I don't really spend a lot of time in Elite Dangerous. There's things that are in Elite Dangerous that look really cool, but I think I like Star Citizen's design a little bit more.
I do too. I think that Elite Dangerous is trying to give players who are actually playing Elite Dangerous kind of the Star Citizen-esque stuff. Like you can go onto planets. Loading up onto your ship isn't like in Star Citizen. You have like you load into the ship by a loading screen. Okay. A lot of the stuff can be automated if you have different like components, a certain component in your ship. Like you have like auto landing and what else? You can go and buy like for like what they announced with Star Citizen. They announced base building and stuff like that for the feature reference. Elite Dangerous kind of has that where you can take over systems for the different factions that they have, and in that they do have their own squadron or guild functions where you can actually go and build a space station and like have your squad or guild go in and contribute resources to the different place and build it up to take over a system and stuff, which is actually pretty cool. Other than that, I definitely prefer Star Citizen though, because I like having the interaction. I like having to be able to, you call up your ship from the terminal, you get into the elevator, you ride the elevator all the way to your hangar, you have your hangar, you could actually get into your ship by either ramp or ladder. And for me, I like the interactive feel more than I like the I'm just going to load into my ship and then jet off to whatever system or whatever the case may be. So
Elite Dangerous is a little more quick to pick up, but Star Citizen, like you said, has that level of simulation. And I can understand why some people prefer one over the other. But
I do like both, but like I said, I prefer Star Citizen because of the interaction.
Well, as many know, I am spread thin across our whole community. We've got goals in every game. We've got stuff going on all over the place, and the games themselves have a lot going on too. But in those moments where I am able to find a brief reprieve from my daily goals in our community and our my work in our community, I have been trying to get back into FF7 Rebirth because I want to be ready for Revelation next year. That is something that means a lot to me. 7 was the first Final Fantasy game that I got into, like many who discovered it a little bit after the series started in the PS1 era. Discovered 7, and I have a lot of people. I have a lot of nostalgia for the game, and whenever there has been any 7 related content and stuff, I've always, been there to, experience that and everything. And this is a big finale to what has been building for a really long time. So I'm trying to, slowly, when I say get back into Rebirth, I mean that I got the game, and like many of us do with our games, played a few quests and did not mean to not go back. And the thing is when I got it, I have that extreme. I'm one of those people like when I'm playing something that's part of a series and that series isn't finished yet, I have that extreme sense of oh, it's going to be a few years before the next one comes out. And at the same time, I really want to set the time aside to experience it and not rush it or play it with other stuff going on at the same time. I want to just be me and one screen and enjoy it, headphones on, volume turned up, enjoy the soundtrack, enjoy the characters, and put my all into it, the way I would do any game that I'm really super, super into. So that's a top thing for me, is any major Final Fantasy, or really any Final Fantasy game that I'm playing for the first time. It is my all-time #1 favorite franchise of anything ever. So, my first time experiences mean a lot to me. And there's a couple other games that have come out like that, especially by Square, that I haven't gotten to yet, just because I'm saving them, or I know they're not going anywhere, or there's nothing new coming out for them, at least not anytime soon. So that's why I have not really finished that yet. I played the crap out of Remake, and I did the same thing with Remake. I started it and I waited for a little bit, and then I went back and I had my moment, period of weeks where I enjoyed it really heavily and did everything. So I'm kind of easing up on that soon. I know with coming up with Evercold, there's not going to really be a lot of downtime for me. I know there will be some people taking breaks as we get closer to the expansion and stuff like that. That's kind of a better period for me. It's still really busy. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on every week, and I'm in everything. So, it's a lot with the posts and the content and the editing, and then the game events and things like that. So, it's in those rare moments where I basically am forcing myself to take a break so I don't go crazy, is when I'll be progressing there. Been touch and go a little bit too with Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition on my Switch 2. Along with a couple other things on there. I've been trying to get time in with that since I went ahead and bought a Switch 2. I want to, use it. And that also becomes a little bit more easier because of its mobility, So I can, I can throw Rebirth on the PS5. I bought it way before it was available on PC. So I can toss that on the PS5 or even grab my PS Portal, but I can't take it with me places. I can technically do that with a Switch 2, even though I don't like taking the bigger handhelds out that much, because, I'm not a fan of walking around with a $600 plus, gaming console out in public. I have the Steam Deck to have the Steam Deck OLED, and, those are a bit rough to replace. So most of the time, handhelds are just good for me when I want to hang out in the living room or, watch TV and kick back with something or whatever, but a little bit of Rebirth, a little bit of Cyberpunk here and there, and been trying a few other games, but just not sticking with a lot right now. Kind of also been in a sort of a crunch period where there's a bunch of content I want to push to get back in the swing of things. There was a little bit of time we took a break from event videos. I've been recording them, but I haven't been posting them as much. For just a little while. I think I mentioned this a little bit at the assembly too. But no particular reason, though the start of my 2026 was full of like getting sick, having wisdom teeth problems and other stuff that just, anything like that slows me down a little bit. I end up prioritizing our most important things, like our daily events and stuff. And then the other content and stuff like that just kind of get put into a queue. So this month was my month to like promise myself I would be back on schedule with everything 100%. So here I am. It's our day 2, and we're getting the podcast recorded. So, but yeah, so not really a lot of time to fit in some other stuff, but I have been enjoying those moments when I am. And of course, we have Azure Wing games as well that I am playing a lot. So I am always, having something going on. For those that know, I've got a pretty big battle station set up where I've got 11 screens and I play across multiple games at one time. Sometimes not always at the same time, but usually I'm watching chats from our different communities and things like that within Azure. Multiple screens for different discords and also the different games, at least 3 games logged in at one time usually. So there's that. And that's what makes having stuff on handhelds or my other, consoles that are hooked up to other screens also handy. I think Rebirth I think I'm going to pick like 2, and I think Rebirth and maybe finishing up Cyberpunk is going to be my 2 for now, if I can keep 2 outside of the MMOs going. But yeah, I believe that that's just about all the time we have for today. For this week's episode, we want to remind our listeners that Azure Infinitum is spread across all major social media websites. You can find news and updates as well as event video reels over on TikTok and some of our other social media sites. You'll find full event videos uploaded to our YouTube. That will be on a weekly schedule here, along with the podcast here, starting this month. You can also find us at the individual wing pages across Facebook, as well as the Azure Global page. We also have our X account, Blue Sky, the Azure Pinterest, the Azure Instagram, and also over on Threads too, and including the Azure Reddit, where there's a copy of every major news post, including our main website, azureinfinitum.com, for our community, and our content site, azure-net.com. Thank you all for listening. And also thank you to my guests here, Aslan and Lily. You guys have been awesome.
Thanks.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so
See you
much
next
for joining
time.
us. Yeah. See you guys on episode
Come back
37
again.
next week.